While Maria is out adventuring today, I thought it'd be cool to share 3 of the super fun experiences that we had while we were in Costa Rica. 3 of those experiences that I think anybody would really enjoy experiencing themselves. So the first one is learning to surf or just going surfing. Now, one of the things that I had no clue about when we went to the Osa Peninsula in Costa Rica, to more specifically Matapalo, was the kind of surfing community that's there. I just really had no clue. Apparently it's a big place for people in that area of Costa Rica to go learn to surf and just go surf in general, which was awesome because one of my dreams growing up was to always be a surfer. So Marie and I went and took lessons from Eddie, and his information is linked below. And so we went surfing. It was awesome. Let me rephrase that. We went and tried to surf. I actually got up for the first time that I'd ever gotten up for any legitimate period of time, which was great. Marie, whatever, she just goes and does the thing, and she's awesome. It's not fair, but it gives me a reason to go back and maybe instead of doing some of the other things that we might do, spend more time learning to surf, because I always wanted to learn to surf. So the second thing, or the second experience that we had that was really great, was going kayaking. We went out and we did the sunset kayaking tour. Now, there's different tours that they have. There's a tour through the mangroves, and I like open sea kayaking or something like that. But anyways, there's a number of different kayaking tours that are available there in Matapalo and around that area, up by Puerto Mendez and just around just the general area in the peninsula. But Marie and I chose to do the sunset kayaking tour, and it was amazing. We toured out past, actually the place that we were staying in, and went out kind of around the bend so that we had an open, obstruction-free view of the sunset. Now, one thing I have to say that I didn't know is I was expecting we were going to go out, we were going to hang out on the water and watch the sun set. Now you kayak out, you watch the sun get close to setting, and then you turn around and kayak all the way back in, because apparently you're not supposed to be kayaking out on the water in the dark, which was cool. It was still awesome, and just getting out and kayaking was just a really fun experience. So the third thing is just getting out and exploring. I mean, we saw so many things that if we just kind of done a tour or, a guided tour or something like that. I mean, we saw stuff on our guided tours, but just going out and doing our own thing was awesome. We got to see things that I don't think that we would have seen otherwise, because in part we weren't looking for something. We were just going out for walks and seeing the area. And there were some other benefits to it too. I mean, there's so much in around Matapalo on the Osa Peninsula that is so worth exploring. We actually drove up to Karate, which is northwest of Matapalo, and it's basically an airstrip. So at the end of the road from Matapalo is a little town of Karate.
Welcome to Karate.
And basically it's at the end of an airstrip. And then there's a group of people that hang out. They do fishing, and there's people there that'll sell you coconuts. In fact, Marie bought a coconut. Yeah, we went up through there. We walked up into kind of the forest area there and saw some wildlife, and it was a great experience. But yeah, so that's the thing, is when you're there, just go out and explore. Go see things. Go do things on your own, because I think doing that just makes that whole experience while you're there so much better. So the bonus is, go out and meet people, or don't hesitate to say hey to somebody when you're out walking around or doing something. We met a couple actually when we were out, and he's originally from the Lake District. I don't think that's where they had been coming from, but they decided they were going to start traveling, and Matapalo area was one of the first places in Costa Rica, or one of the places in Costa Rica they hadn't been to. And so that was an all new experience for him, which was really cool. And when we were up in Karate, we met a gentleman that flies drones. He's a content creator, and I think a photographer, like he has a studio or something like that. And we got a chance to talk, and that was really great. But all the time when we would go out on our own, we would end up meeting different people, and it just made our whole experience, and actually made us kind of more connected to the area just by interacting with people while we're there. It was awesome. It just made that whole experience with going to Costa Rica and the Osa Peninsula like 100 million times better. So if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos from us, hit that subscribe button and that bell. We have an amazing adventure coming up, and we'll tell you more about that at a later date. I don't want to spoil it, but it's going to be awesome. So anyways, thank you for stopping by and watching, and we'll see you next time.